Alright, so I just finished my essay anyway. Yes guys, welcome to a brand new video. My name is Conan and today we're going to be going over my top 3 mistakes I made when I first started lifting. So let's get into it. Guys, I totally forgot to mention I'm Conan from the future and I actually included a 4th bonus tip towards the end of the video. So if you want to hear what the bonus tip is, make sure to go stick around until the end of the video to hear what it is. Anyway, let's get into it. Before we get into it though, you must understand that when I first started lifting, I probably made all the mistakes you could possibly make when you first started lifting. Like, I made so many. Like, imagine there being like a book of just all the mistakes you could make. I mean, I probably made every single one of them, like literally. So out of the hundreds of mistakes I made, we're gonna be going over the top 3 of them. So without any further ado, let's dive right into it. So the first mistake I made was not having enough clarity. And now what I mean by that is that when I first started like lifting and working out and stuff, I didn't really have a clear goal in mind because obviously, as we all know, in order to see like the most optimal results, we should decide whether or not we want to gain muscle or lose body fat, aka bulk or cut. And now when I first started lifting, I didn't really know what these two terms meant. And so I was basically just spinning my wheels and I stayed in the exact same spot. I wasn't really making much progress and I just pretty much looked the exact same. It wasn't until I started to clarify what my actual goals were and what I actually wanted to do when I started seeing actual progress. So when I first decided to actually like get on a bulk and like be in a caloric surplus and actually like start tracking my calories and macros to ensure that I'm in a caloric surplus, that's when I started to see like real changes. Now granted, as a beginner, you can definitely get away with not having a super clear goal because you will inevitably get your newbie gains. Yeah, okay, let's go. Which are just your gains you get from simply just looking at a weight. Like, when you're a beginner, you can gain muscle so easily. However, to speed up the process and make things more efficient, I do highly recommend to have just a clear goal in mind. So again, whether it's to gain muscle or bulk up or lose body fat or cut down, it is very important to clarify what your goal is and then have a game plan to execute it. So if your goal is to bulk up, you gotta ensure that you're in a caloric surplus, which means you're eating more calories than you burn every single day. And so the best way to do this is to start tracking your calories and macros just for the first couple of weeks or months, just so you have a rough idea of how much food you actually need to eat in order to put on size. And the same thing goes for losing weight. If your goal is to lose weight or cut down, you must ensure that you're in a caloric deficit, which means you're eating less calories than you burn every single day. And again, the easiest way to do this is to make sure you're tracking your calories and macros just to ensure that you're eating less than you burn on a day-to-day basis. Alright guys, just ate breakfast and currently going on a walk just to help digest the food a bit, and then after this we're gonna go over to the gym. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Oh, and while I go on this walk, a bit of a life update for you guys. So I've been really struggling with like balancing everything going on in my life, like working 2 jobs and then having to do school on the side and then filming videos as well. So I've kind of been slacking with like my YouTube uploads, so I do want to apologize for that. I have so much stuff going on every day and it's just hard for me to like find the time to like film these type of videos. So yeah, I do apologize, but hopefully I can get at least like 1 video like this out a week. But yeah, especially now with like school, the midterms are coming up. I just wrote an essay. I got another essay due in a couple of days. So yeah, I've just been really busy with a lot of things. And then on top of that, of course, like I'm still working like almost every day too. So yeah, that's my quick little ramble for the day, but let's get back into the video now. And by the way, in case you haven't noticed, I tend to get very, very cold very quickly for absolutely no reason. Like, it's weird because I don't know why it is. Like, I genuinely don't. Like, even inside, as you guys saw when I was eating my food, I was very cold. I was wearing my hood and stuff. So yeah, maybe it's just like a genetic thing. But yeah, I'm not good in the cold. Alright guys, currently inside of the car, about to head over to the gym to smash our leg workout. And the second mistake out of the 100 mistakes I've made is not tracking my workouts. Let me explain. So when I first started working out, I read this thing in like a magazine or somewhere online that you had to shock your muscles every time you step foot in the gym. And so by that, what they meant was that you should be doing different exercises each and every week so your muscles don't get used to it, and so you kind of like shock your muscles in a way. And although it kind of makes sense, like saying that out loud, it just doesn't really make sense at the same time either. Because if you just simply think about it, if you go into the gym and let's say, for example, you want to get bigger legs. Okay, well, you go to the gym and you do a squat one day. Okay, that's good. But then the next day you're like, oh, I gotta shock the muscle, so the next time I'll do the leg press. And it's like, if you constantly change exercises, it is very difficult for you to track your workouts and see if you're actually progressing or not. Because even though, yeah, it's good to present your body with a novel stimulus that it's not used to, if you constantly do that each and every week, I mean, your body doesn't even know what you're doing. It's like, okay, well, we're doing this one exercise this week, and then the next week we're doing this other exercise, but then the week after we're doing a different one. And it's like, your body doesn't know what to do with that. If, however, you were to do, for example, a squat, and you were to do that consistently week after week after week after week, and you were progressively getting stronger, you were progressively overloading it, you were either adding an extra rep every week, or you were adding an extra set, or you were increasing the weight. If you constantly do that and get stronger and get better at that one specific lift, I mean, your body will grow, your legs will grow. And so the biggest mistake I made was just going into the gym and like doing all these weird different exercises that I saw on Instagram or on YouTube or whatever. So it wasn't until I got on like a proper workout program and I consistently did like the same exercises week after week after week, not forever, but like for like a mesocycle or something, for like a 9 or 12 week block, consistently doing the same exercises and then tracking my progress. It wasn't until I did that when I started seeing real results. And it makes it so much easier for you to track your progress as well, because again, if you're constantly changing your exercises, I mean, how do you keep track of that? How do you know if you're actually getting stronger? Whereas if you were to do, let's say, for example, again, the squat, if you were to do that for like a 9-week period, you could very easily track your progress. If on week 1 you're doing 225 for sets of 4, and then on week 9 you're still doing 225 for sets of 4, I mean, clearly you have not made any progress. If, however, on week 9 you're doing 275 for sets of 4, I mean, yeah, you just increased your squat by 50 pounds. So you definitely did make some progress there. And so again, guys, don't get caught up in this whole shock your muscle thing with like doing different workouts each and every week. That is the stupidest, biggest myth ever. Do not fall for that trap. Get on a proper workout program and consistently get stronger with the basic exercises. Alright guys, workout is done, and another reason why I like to track my workouts is because whenever you step foot in the gym, it gives you like a purpose and like a reason to like do something. Because if you have something written down, and let's say, for example, last week I did squats for 225 for 3 sets of 4 reps, I know this week, in order to beat that, I need to get 3 sets of 5 reps. So I step foot in the gym with a purpose, with a drive, and with motivation to beat what I did last week. So if you're not already, please keep track of your workout. Just write it down on like your notes app, or just write it down on a piece of paper, or just do something so you can keep track of it, so you know whenever you step foot into the gym, you know exactly what you got to do in that session in order to beat what you did last week. Alright guys, let's make this quick. Post-workout meal, we got some cream of wheat with some banana and protein sludge on top. I actually made this like an hour ago. I microwaved it, put all the toppings on top, and then I let it chill in the fridge for like an hour, just so it can kind of like cool down and like kind of like absorb everything, and it should turn into like something like this. Honestly, it looks really, really good. I probably put way too much effort into making this. I could have realistically, if I was in like a rush, I could have just like added the protein powder on top and the banana, mixed it together, and I just ate it right away. But I like to get creative with my meals. I don't know why, but honestly, it is kind of worth it in my opinion. So here we go, quick little taste test for you guys. We got some banana in there. We got some protein sludge and some cream of wheat. If you guys want a recipe to this, I can definitely make one in the future, but it is very simple. So here we go. Wow. It may take a bit longer to like make this and prepare this, but it's kind of worth it in my opinion. So we're gonna eat this, and then I'm gonna tell you guys what the third mistake I made was. Alrighty guys, so the third mistake I made was not being patient enough. And now this may sound like a pretty generic kind of mistake to make, but let me just elaborate on it. So obviously, as we all know, building muscle is obviously like a process, and it takes time, like a lot of time. So if you're expecting to see results like this overnight, I mean, that is not gonna happen, like obviously, because again, it is a process. You can't build muscle overnight. It is a long, steady process. And so when I first started lifting, I was just very like impatient, like I wanted results very quickly. And so what happened was that I wasn't really enjoying the process as much, because I was more goal driven instead of process driven. So I wasn't really too focused on like the process, as in like every single day actually making sure I enjoy my diet, every single day making sure I get plenty of sleep in, and all these small little things that can add up. If you do them consistently, that can ultimately help you reach that goal. Now, knowing that it's going to take you months, if not years, for you to start seeing actual good results, it is very important for you to enjoy the process and not be impatient. Because if you're going through it every single day, dragging through it, going through the motions, and not really enjoying the entire process of just doing it, I mean, you're most likely not going to get to where you want to be. So it was very crucial for me to start enjoying the process and start doing things that I actually enjoy doing in order for me to actually see results and also just enjoy the process. So I'm sure most of you have heard this saying before, and it goes something like this: there's more than one way to skin a cat. I think that's the saying, like it's something like that or something similar to that. And basically what that means is that there's more than one way to be fit, or there's more than one way to achieve your goal in terms of fitness, if that makes sense. So obviously we gotta follow the basic rules, as in be in a caloric surplus in order to gain muscle, train consistently, get 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. But the small little things you do throughout the day can differ from person to person. A prime example, your diet. Not everyone has to follow the exact same diet. I myself like to follow a balanced diet. I don't like to leave certain food groups out. However, I know a lot of people that like doing the keto diet, and they actually enjoy doing it so they can sustain it. If I were to do that, however, I probably would not be able to sustain it, because that would not really be enjoyable for me, because I actually enjoy eating carbs like a lot. And so you just gotta kind of find what works for you and find what you actually enjoy doing, because again, not everyone is going to enjoy following a keto diet. Some people want to follow a paleo diet, or some people are like me and just want to eat everything they can. And so yeah, really just kind of like knowing your body and like understanding what you enjoy doing will really help you in the long term, so you can actually enjoy the process. Alrighty guys, just got off work, and before I end today's video, I got one last and final thing to tell you guys. Man, this looks trippy. It looks like I have like freckles all over my face, but it's actually like the reflection from like the rain. Hang on, let's see if I can fix this. It still kind of looks weird. Anyway, so can I put this down somewhere? Anyway, so what I'm about to tell you guys is not really something that I regret or think is a mistake that I've made in my fitness career so far, because I'm a firm believer that everything does happen for a reason, and I do strongly believe that whatever mistakes you make, I mean, you learn from them. I mean, that is why we make mistakes. We make mistakes so that we can learn from them and then move on, right? So I don't really think making mistakes, whether it's in fitness or whatever, is necessarily a bad thing. I mean, sure, if you can avoid them, it's great. However, I definitely don't think it's a bad thing. So if you happen to make a mistake or do something wrong, like just kind of like see what you did, take from it what you can, learn from it, and then move on, and then hopefully in the future don't make the same mistake again. But something that's been on my mind a lot lately is whether or not I should have competed last summer. So obviously during that time I got so much sick and so much hate from so many people. Just like even today still, like people still watch those videos and they're like, oh my god, you're too skinny, why did you even bother competing, why did you do that, you didn't even have enough muscle, like blah blah blah, you should have bulked instead. And honestly, like I'll be honest, like yeah, I probably should have kept bulking instead of deciding to cut down for a show this past summer. But to be honest with you guys, I don't really regret doing it, because like it was such a great learning experience. Like I learned so much about myself, my body, just like simply going through prep, just like mentally, physically. Like it was a challenge. Like it was just a really tough challenge, and I like a challenge, like I really do. And so even though I wasn't big enough, I definitely felt like it was a good challenge, and I definitely enjoyed the process. I enjoyed putting myself through the pain, the torture, and everything like that. So I mean, ideally, should I have done it? Like no, I should not have done it. I should have kept growing and kept bulking and kept eating and kept getting stronger, especially like with my age. However, do I regret it? No, I really don't. I genuinely don't regret it, because again, I learned so much from it. I know next time when I do decide to compete again, like I'll have that past experience to kind of like help me through it, if that makes sense. So yeah, definitely I don't think I made a mistake. I think again, everything happens for a reason, and I really just think that's the whole part of life. Anyway, without getting too emotional now, I'm gonna wrap up this video right here. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to go give this video a thumbs up. I would highly appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.